Okay. So your underlying energy, guys, is the Four of Swords, not Four of Cups, Four of Swords. Whew. All right. So this is talking about taking a break, taking a second to reflect, to look within yourself right now. This is talking about really just feeling. I feel like it's talking about not necessarily feeling a certain way, but there's a break, there's a pause, there's something going on in your love life right now that's taking a second, taking a pause, taking a moment. Especially in regards to meditating. Underneath here you have temperance, so yeah, it's about essentially about your 50 and how much work you've been putting in and really maintaining harmony within the self. So I feel like this break potentially is needed, or some sort of pause or some need to meditate right now is definitely beneficial, especially when it comes to maintaining balance. Now, your current situation in your love life is showing the Eight of Pentacles. There's a lot of hard work being put into this relationship right now. Serious dedication and really some serious concentration coming up here too. So there's some concentrating on some work that's being done in your love life. So yeah, that's just, it is what it is. Now, with your desired outcome, you have the Six of Pentacles. So you want some balance. Like, ultimately, the balance in the relationship may be a little bit off right now. That's probably why there is a break. There's a time to step back, because maybe you're doing everything that you need to be doing, but the other person is not. So their desire for your relationship or your outcome is some sort of reciprocation or some sort of balance to be reestablished in your relationships or your love life in general, right? Perhaps there's somebody that's doing too much, or there's somebody that is doing too little. There needs to be a balanced situation going on. But the thing that's keeping the balance from being established in this love life has a lot to do with the Eight of Wands, which is communication, progress being made. It's almost like these things are actually slowing down and actually probably not moving at all. Like, there is no movement. There's nothing happening. Considering that the Four of Swords is in your underlying energy, it makes sense, because you're not doing anything when the Four of Swords comes up. You're taking a step back. You're holding on. Well, holding on. You're meditating. You're paused here when the Four of Swords comes up. So there is no movement. There is no movement. There's a lot of inner reflection going on. There's a lot of focusing on the self, taking a moment, healing right now. There's no progress being made. And I feel like the reason why there's no progress being made is because someone has been taking control of the situation the entire time. So whoever just kind of decided to take a break is the person that is no longer, the person that decided to take a break. That's why the relationship is going down. It's because somebody was in control of the relationship for a while. They was taking control of their life, taking control of the situation, but they decided to take a break. Therefore, the progress of the relationship is stopped. That's why the desire of the relationship potentially is a give and take kind of flow, or some sort of balance, because the person that's been pushing the relationship, making it work, well, they're taking a break now. They're done. They're like, all right, let me take a rest. Let me just relax a little bit. That stops the whole flow of the relationship. That's like unfair. It's like this person has to keep pushing this relationship in order for things to keep going, in order for things to, continue to develop with this relationship. It's almost like this person, the other person that's in this relationship, obviously, isn't giving anything. It's like someone has constantly having to do something in order for things to even be moving in any direction of this relationship. Okay, so the best path to follow is the Ace of Wands. So I feel like some of you guys, this is you guys that are that's been pushing this relationship, going hardcore, putting in a lot of your effort into the relationship and really taking the control of it and making things happen. Perhaps the Ace of Wands is talking about starting something new, starting something that's very passionate, something that's really exciting for you yourself. I don't think this is starting to saying drop the relationship and keep moving. I feel like ultimately this is talking about maybe there is something new and something exciting that you may need to put in place for there to be some proper balance, so that way you can have a break and things can still keep moving. Maybe there's some new boundaries that need to come up. Some things need to happen, but there's a lot of work coming up. I feel like ultimately there's just a lot of dedication, a lot of action happening, so things are not happening now. Things are not moving in a certain direction. For some of you guys, it could be that, right? It could be just that both parties of the relationship, both people of the relationship, or both people that you're dealing with in regards to building a relationship with one another, maybe they're just they're taking a break, they're taking time out to reevaluate themselves, and both people just stop taking the helm of the relationship, or there's a power struggle or whatever in the past. But most importantly, I feel like there's just there's nobody doing anything right now because they're too busy taking a break. And I feel like somebody needs to start something new. I feel like somebody needs to go ahead and start something. Perhaps the reason why there's a break right now is because the person that was, yes, demanding, that was really in control of the relationship is no longer doing that control of the relationship. So therefore, there's a little bit of halt. But I feel like the power is in your hands, Pisces. If you want to start this relationship back up again or begin to, keep making progress in the relationship, it's got to be some sort of initiation of that sort. Okay, and the initiation here is the Ace of Wands, starting to be passionate, it's really exciting. All right. Now, in your feelings, you have the Six of Swords. So there could be a distance between you and this individual, which can explain why there's a lot of hard work dedicated to this relationship, a lot of hard work, a lot of concentration. Someone's taking control of the situation, making sure that this relationship is constantly in motion. And it could be that there's a distance here, but this also could indicate that there's a spiritual transition coming up, or there's a spiritual transition in which you're dealing with or going through right now. Going through difficult times and trying to, you're changing the course of where your heart is, really. You're going through a transition. You're leaving something behind, something that's really familiar but didn't really work for you. So I feel like you're trying to find and travel to new waters. Excuse me. Going through a transition. And if this is not a distance between the partner that you're with, then, this talks about you, potentially treading new waters, leaving something turbulent. You're going through a time of change anyway, which potentially explains why that Four of Wands is in the underlying energy, which is, could be talking about really just healing, going through the process of changing. You're not going to be the same person after this Four of Swords energy. Okay. Now, with your hopes and fears, you have the Nine of Swords coming up. So the Nine of Swords is talking about stress, it's talking about, inability to sleep, depression, anxiety. And I feel like regarding the situation with no movement happening, it can build up some anxiety and some stress. But the situation is not bad. The situation is actually really good. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication. There just needs to be a little bit more balance of give and take right now. Somebody's been putting in a lot of work in this relationship, and it's halted the flow of it. But I feel like ultimately it just needs to be sparked up, or there's either a new beginning that needs to come out of this, right? Something needs to be sparked up, happened again, right? If this is you, Pisces, yeah, there may be something that you may have to do to start the process up again, but to reestablish boundaries for the next time, right? Because this is potentially why you're having to go through this transition, because if you need a break and this other person that you're dealing with is not giving you that 50%, then yeah, okay, starting something new is great. But this transition means, I feel like it's talking about utilizing the new you from this healing energy to establish boundaries for the next time this happens. So that way you can take a second, so you can be more receptive in your relationships, and the flow can continue going. For those of you that are Pisces, for those Pisces out there that may be the ones that are not doing anything in the relationship and just allowing someone else to take control of it, well, it's time for you guys to maybe, give some of that 50%. Right? Because of the Ace of Wands, talking about starting something new, starting something passionate. If the person that's been taking control of the relationship for a while, that's kind of the dominant one of the relationship, it's taking a step back, taking a break. It's not because of you. It's not because, I feel like maybe it's just because they have they're just always in control, and when they need to take a step back or they need a break or something like that, yeah, they probably drop this relationship a little bit too. Maybe they're just like, I need a break. And that's where the balance comes in. So I don't think this is about you, obviously, right? Because of so many beautiful cards we saw in the beginning with the Queen of Cups. You saw the Queen of Cups, but I don't think this relationship, there's nothing to stress out about in regards to, is the relationship over? Does he even love me? Or does she love me? And that's none of that. I feel like this person does, because of what the Queen of Cups and the Two of Cups that we saw before. That is someone that's in love. But I do feel like the stress is, or what really needs to be looked at is what has been going down. Where is the balance? How has the balance been? What is the balance dynamic in this relationship? And if that's the case, if someone's been doing, putting in a lot more effort in the relationship, then perhaps the other person needs to do the same thing, so that way it won't get to this point where someone's stressed out thinking that it's them that's the problem, when in actuality it's just a balance of the flow of the relationship, because everything's great. The Ten of Cups is the happily ever after card, and I really feel like this is a happily ever after card. This is a really good card to have, because I feel like once the Ace of Wands started, by either from your part or from their part, right? Or really from your part, I feel like, because this is your advice, I really feel like things will really work in harmony. Things will be balanced. Things will be wonderful. This is a really wonderful card to get, and it's very similar to Temperance in regards to harmony and peace. It's really wonderful, and I feel like it's going to be the ending of an emotional cycle where there may be misunderstandings. Well, because this is the Eight of Wands Eight of Wands blocking the Six of Wands, so it could be just some miscommunication here too. Miscommunication here, something's not being clear. But I feel like the progress of things being moved or getting back started again, and putting and for those of you that have been the ones that are controlling the relationship, putting new boundaries in place so that way you guys can take a break and not feel like you have to keep the relationship going at all times, because I can, that you don't want no codependent stuff coming up. But yeah, I do feel like, with all this situation being wrapped up, things will be all right. Things will be solid. And you guys can really enjoy the moment together and really feel like you're in a really wonderful relationship. Let's go ahead and take a look at the whispers of love for you guys this week. Let's take a look at the whispers of love for you guys this week. Whispers of love for you guys this week. Whispers of love for you guys this week. Whispers of love, whispers of love, whispers of love, whispers of love for you guys, for Pisces this week. Whispers of love for Pisces this week. Wow. The only thing that is real is love. Shift your focus from the problem back to love. Yes. I believe it. And that's pretty much that's the Nine of Swords right there in your hopes and fears. Stressed out, it's time to shift your focus back to love. It doesn't matter. If there's nothing happening, it's not because somebody's pissed. It's because there's just not a lot of action. There is love. That's what I'm saying. Love is not the problem. Being in love with the person is not the problem. Queen of Cups and all them. The Queen of Cups and the Two of Cups. That's two people that feel the same way about each other, which is love. Because the Queen of Cups is love herself. No denying that. See what the Wisdom of the Oracle card has for you guys this week. Wisdom of the Oracle card. Wisdom of the Oracle card. Wisdom of the Oracle card for you guys this week. Pisces. Wisdom of the Oracle. What additional advice you can give for Pisces this week? What additional advice can you give for Pisces this week? Building blocks. Yeah, this is a progress. This is a work in progress. And the Eight of Pentacles in the building blocks are literally pretty much the same card. Because you are working towards building a foundation, a solid foundation. There's going to be boundaries. There's going to be readjusting of balance, and that's where the traveling and the adjustment and the transition comes to play. You're going to change along with this relationship. It's going to show you things that you may need, and it's not going to be the end of the world, especially if somebody has a hiccup or something like that. But the thing here is, if there's a pause in the relationship, you can bring it back in. It's just going to require working on the boundaries to make sure that the balances are always in flow. They're always in tandem with each other. And if you can do that, you won't be stressed. And you can truly enjoy the relationship and the connection that you have with this individual. Because it truly is beautiful, y'all. It truly is.